Hello everybody, Big Planes here. Now before I dive too deep into this video, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to everybody over on Patreon who helps us support the channel. It really means a lot to me, and it's one of the main reasons why I'm actually able to build these things. So if you want to go help out the channel over on Patreon, I will leave a link in the description below. So, a lot of progress today. Some of it on the wing and some of it on the center section. So right at this very moment, I'm going to sort of show you what I've done here, and then I'll show you what I've done on the outer wing section since I have started those. They're on a separate table. So a quick update here. I have installed the vertical supports. These are going to help lock on the second floor, and it's going to just overall stabilize things more. I learned that I needed to do those from this plane because this plane, it was starting to have some issues sliding back and forth, and I ended up installing them on it, but afterwards. So I've just built them into the thing here, and you can see how they're going to generally work. They're going to protrude out. Don't worry, these beams will be hidden. This is right where the restroom unit is, and I think there's like a galley or a restroom here, so those will not be visible on the final model. Just they're there because they help stabilize it. So you can see generally just how it works. This won't be super visible once the thing's done, but you can see that the beams line up onto where I would connect a Technic brick, and that will help it from wanting to slide and lift up. So that's just a quick update there. I got those in. Also, the entire landing gear section is now complete. You can kind of see it there. Again, I flipped the model back over, so it's kind of hard to see. But the underside of the model is also pretty much complete. So you can see I've pretty much formed this all in, and I've gotten it to be much smoother. So this took a lot of work. This is a pretty big pain in the you-know-what, but it is complete now, and I am moving on to other sections of the aircraft. You can see I also built in the front here, and on the 747, this one right here, this area right here is where all the battery packs are. And that's great and all until you attach the nose and it wants to bend because there's no support there. Whereas right here, I don't have any battery packs there other than this wire, which just goes somewhere else, so that's not really in the way. But this is a very strong section now, so this shouldn't bend, this shouldn't warp. Hopefully this works out. So that's pretty much it for this section. Yeah, I finally mostly completed the center section. So at this point, I'm working my way out onto the wings. And then once the wings are done, I'll work my way out front, and then you know how that goes. So the wings are over here on my work table. So right now, they're just a bit of an outline right now because I am still figuring out how I'm going to do this. These wings are incredibly complicated because of all of the different axles and linear actuators and all the stuff going between them, and I want the wing to look smooth, so this is going to be difficult. But I'm going to just sort of give you a general explanation of what's going on here. So first things first, these wires are going to be run through a channel at the front of the wing. This thick wire here goes to the outboard engine, and this thin wire here goes to the navigation lights on the tips of the wings. This axle right here is the one that powers the flaps and spoilers. What I'm going to do, because you can see that the axle runs right here on this wing, it goes straight into the motor, which is down in the wing box, and it powers this, but you can see that the trailing edge comes in. So eventually they're going to meet and we're going to run out of room here. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is use maybe like a couple of universal joints, and I'm going to move this and bring it in more, that main axle. So this main axle is going to run closer to right here. Then what I'm going to do is, since this flap right here is pretty big, you can see that it's really large. This is all the one single flap. It might be two flaps on the real aircraft, but I'm just going to treat it as one flap because that's easier on the linear actuators. Since it's substantially larger, I'm going to be using twice as many linear actuators on this part than I was on the inboard flaps. So you can see two of them, the two inner ones right here, they're obviously not lined up, but the two inner ones will control the flap itself, and these two outer ones will control the spoilers. So that's what's going on there. Again, this is not the final arrangement of these things, don't worry. And I've also found that I could probably use these bricks right here on their sides to get a nice smooth look running through the thing. So that's what I have going on here. Hopefully it works out. It's going to be very complicated because the problem here is, and I got it to work with the inboard flaps. The spoilers and flaps do work. As you can see, the flaps are down. I haven't put the flap cracks on, obviously. I did get it to work here, but I had a lot more room here. So I don't have as much room here. The wing's thinner. Everything's just smaller and more compact. So hopefully I can get it to work out here too, because if I can get this to work, then we have motorized flaps. And this might take a little while. That's why I'm giving you an update now, because it might be a little while before I'm able to actually get this to work, because most of my airplanes from this point back, even this one right here, which has pretty complicated flaps, I just built in the flaps and kept going. There was no motorized features in it. Whereas here, this is very complicated. So please understand that that's why this is taking a little bit longer than past airplanes. Now, once this is done though, once the wing is done, this thing is going to fly by really fast, because I have a formula or just an outline for what the fuselage is going to look like. So once we get to this point, this will just go really, really quickly, and then we work our way up to the nose. So like I said, once the wing is done, once this is all done, this will go very quickly. And this right here, this isn't even all of it. This is the center wing section. After I'm done with this, I still have the outboard wing section, which has the ailerons and the winglets and all that stuff. So these are huge wings. So yeah, that's all I really have for this video. Not a ton of physical progress, but a lot of sort of design progress. So that's all I really have for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and expect a video on this soon. That's all I really have for this one. Bye for now.